The control system, money, power, and our future. What if the biggest changes happening in the world right now aren't just by chance? What if the systems being put in place aren't just for making things easy, but for control? And what if the big problems from last year are just the start of a huge change? Listen to this all the way through. What you're about to hear might change how you see money, power, and freedom. The shift most people didn't notice in the past few years. The world has changed a lot. A global crisis, an unstable economy, and fast changes in technology. For many, these events seemed unconnected, just random moments in history. But if you look closely, a pattern slowly appears. It's a pattern where crises are followed by solutions that often lead to more centralized control, not just in the economy, but also for individuals. Please subscribe, like, and share to help us bring more eye-opening and educational content to you. The rise of digital control systems. One of the biggest changes happening right now is the move to digital identity and money. At first glance, it seems super convenient. Digital IDs promise easier verification, faster services, and way less paperwork. Digital money promises faster payments, better efficiency, and a future without cash. But behind all that convenience, there's a deeper reason. Control. Because when your identity goes digital and money can be programmed, it's not just about making a payment anymore. It becomes about getting permission. What exactly is programmable money? At first glance, it might sound like something out of a science fiction movie. But the truth is, it's much closer to our reality than we think. To understand it better, let's think about how it's different from traditional money. The money we hold, whether it's physical cash or in a digital bank account, is dumb or doesn't have its own smarts. Its only job is to represent value. Once you spend it, the transaction is done. Programmable money, on the other hand, is smart money. It's a digital currency that has built-in rules, like a computer program. Using technology like blockchain and smart contracts, each unit of money can have its own logic and conditions. It's not just a simple way to pay anymore. It's a tool that can automatically carry out agreements. Now, imagine a world where your money comes with conditions. For example, financial aid or stimulus from the government. Instead of cash, you could receive digital funds programmed to be spent only on basic needs like food, medicine, and electricity bills. You can only spend it on approved items, and it won't work if you try to buy alcohol or cigarettes. It can also be used within a specific limit, and only for a set period. If you don't spend it before the expiration date, the money might automatically disappear or go back to the sender. Or, you might only be able to access the money if you meet certain requirements, like finishing a training program or proving your identity. This is what programmable digital currency can do. It's not what it promises, but what it allows. Technology is neutral, but how it's used is not. And once the system is set up, once the way to use this kind of money becomes common, the question won't be if it can be used this way. The question will be, will it be used? And who will decide how it's used? I'm in power and trust. A dangerous mix. Centralized systems often say, trust us. We won't misuse this power. But history tells a different story. Power that's all in one place is almost always used. When systems allow control over money, behavior can be swayed in ways never seen before. Because money is how we live. for food, shelter, and chances in life. Control the money, and you can influence everything. To help us really get what a big risk this can be, let's look at a real example of financial control that has already happened in our current system. This isn't just a theory or a guess, but something that actually happened, showing how money can be used as a tool for power. Back in 2022, in Canada, there was a big protest called the Freedom Convoy. In response, the government used their power under the Emergencies Act. What happened next? They told banks and other money places to freeze the bank accounts of people and companies involved in the protest. This was done without a court order. All of a sudden, people couldn't get to their own money. They couldn't pay their rent, buy food, or take care of their families. Their part in a protest directly led to them losing their money freedom. The reason? Not because of terrorism or hiding money, but because of their political views and showing they didn't agree. This shows us that the way to control things has been around for a long time. The banking systems we have now, which are connected to the government, can already be used to put a lot of pressure on people. Now, let's think about a future with central bank digital currency, or CBDC. If this could happen with the old banking system, what else could happen if money itself is directly controlled and can be programmed? Freezing an account could become instant, automatic, and affect even more people. Every payment could be checked right away, and getting to your money could be turned on or off like a light switch, based on rules made by the main authority. This example is a serious reminder that talking about digital money isn't just about technology. It's about power, control, and the future of our basic freedoms. Acceleration after crisis. One interesting thing we've seen is how quickly new systems pop up after big global problems. When things are uncertain, people are more open to change, using new systems, and giving up some privacy for safety. This is when digital identity systems really started to take off. What started as a temporary fix often becomes a permanent thing. Please subscribe, like, and share to help us bring more eye-opening and educational content to you. The connection between identity and money, if kept separate. Digital ID and digital money might not seem so bad, but when they're put together, they create a really powerful system. When your identity is directly linked to your money, everything becomes traceable and controllable. Every transaction, every move, every decision. In such a system, it's easy to make you comply. Centralization versus decentralization. These are the two big forces shaping our modern world. From how we're governed to how information flows, but there's no clearer battleground for these two ideas than in the world of money. Here, every transaction, every penny, becomes a vote for a certain kind of future. For many decades, the financial system had a clear balance. At the top, you had central banks, the powerful groups that set money rules, control how much money is out there, and are the backbone of a country's economy. They're the ones who call the big shots. Below them, commercial banks, from big companies to small local banks, act as the bridge. They work directly with people and businesses, offering loans, savings accounts, and other services. It's a two-level system. A system with many layers, but now, that clear line is starting to blur. And the reason is technology. With the arrival of central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs, central institutions can now talk directly to every citizen. Think about it. A digital wallet directly connected to the central bank Not through a commercial bank. This changes everything because it gets rid of the middlemen or extra layers in the system. At first glance, this seems great. Faster transactions, lower fees, and more direct help from the government. But it comes with a big question. When you remove the layers, what else do you lose? The answer: protections. Commercial banks, despite their problems, act as a buffer. They give you a level of privacy and choice. If you don't like one bank's service, you can switch to another. But in a purely centralized system, where only one place manages your money, where do you go? Every transaction you make could be watched, and your access to your own money could be controlled with just a click. This is the heart of the debate. The convenience of centralization versus the freedom and protection of decentralization. The danger of too much power. There's an old idea that's still true. When power is in just a few hands, it's more likely to be used badly. It's not because people are bad, but because systems shape how people act, and when the system allows control, it will eventually be used. Controlled economy or free. There are two views for the future of the economy. One is centralized, controlled from the top. The other is decentralized, run from the bottom. History shows that strong economies often come from decentralized systems, local businesses, and small institutions. This provides stability, adaptability, and opportunity. The power of small systems. In many successful economies, growth didn't come from a central authority, but from thousands of small players. Local banks, small businesses, and free choices. These systems allowed money to flow where it was needed most, based on real needs. This created new ideas, jobs, and lasting stability. What happens when power is concentrated? When power is concentrated, variety decreases, competition weakens, and decisions become uniform. When mistakes happen, everyone is affected at the same time, because there are few choices. In the belief there is no other option, there's no other way, that this is the only path forward, and we have to go along with it. But history shows us something different. There are always other choices. They might not be talked about much, but they are there. The future being built. The world is moving towards a system that is more digital, connected, and centralized. This isn't just a guess, it's a future that's definitely coming. The question is, what kind will it be? One that helps people grow, or one that controls them? The importance of being aware. Most systems rely on people accepting and normalizing, and following without question. That's why being aware is so important, because when people understand how the system works, they'll start asking questions, and questions lead to accountability. We are living in a time that could change the future for many generations. A change not just in technology, but in the system, in power, and in control. Opportunities like this don't come around often, because once systems are set up, it's really hard to change them back. At this point, take a moment and ask yourself, if money becomes programmable, identity is digital, and access is conditional, will you still be free? Share your thoughts in the comments. Is this progress or something else? And if you want more deep dives like this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This conversation is important now. A different path forward, a different future is still possible. A future where systems are good but don't control, where technology serves people and power is spread out, not held by just a few. This needs awareness, discussion, and getting involved. So the question is, not just what's happening, but if we're listening. If this opened your eyes, share it, because knowledge spreads faster than control if we choose to pass it on. And as always, stay observant, keep questioning, and never stop thinking for yourself.